news. As great news is the fact that you're recording a new Epica album. Of course, I cannot avoid to ask you about the upcoming album by Epica. I'm really, really looking forward. It's been some years since the latest record by Epica. How is it going? I mean, how are the songs sounding so far? Which path are you taking in this new record? When are we going to be able to listen to it?
I think that there should be a single by the end of the summer-ish. That's our plan, and the album should be released 2025. I just wrote with Mark and Rob also yesterday that I'm so happy with the songs. I'm so proud how everything turned out, and it's going to be another amazing Epica album. We added a couple of new elements, but also went back to the roots, the old Epica. And yeah, I just can't wait for people to hear this. I loved Omega, and we toured so much with Omega and had wonderful experiences. But then when you reach the end of a touring cycle, you start to get itchy and feel, okay, now it's time to do a new album. Can we do it as good or maybe even better than the last album? That's always the thing we strive for, ways to renew ourselves a little bit. And we feel a very strong spiritual connection also that it's our 9th album. So there's going to be themes around the symbolic meaning of 9.
Oh, really?
The number 9, yes. And the songs are heavy. There's a beautiful ballad, very cinematic song, very up-tempo, very doomy, melancholic. And
it's going to be a diverse
amazing power riffs. It's the most epic Epica, I think, so far.
Really, the most epic album by Epica. That's big words, I have to say. Actually,
I think so. I mean, I'm feeling it. I'm very happy with it. I'm proud of it. And they are going to start recording the orchestra now next week. They're flying to Prague. That's where we record the orchestra. Nice. And I will be recording my final vocals in June as well.
That's great. That's great. I have big illusions put into Epica, to be honest, I have to say. Actually, so far, the only record by Epica that you actually celebrate, it was its 10th anniversary, I think it was, Design Your Universe. I was there in that tour. I saw you guys in Oberhausen, and it was a really, really amazing record. For some reason, that's a very special record by Epica. It's still a very special record by Epica, and it still influenced a lot in the new Epica way of writing. I mean, it's like a cornerstone of the band.
Yeah, for me, I think the gold release of Design Universe inspired me and the band also with the writing of Omega. Because we had the gold or like we called it the gold edition.
Yeah, the re-release of the record, yeah.
The re-release, yeah, and then we did a tour with it, and then I've really loved those songs. Of course, Design Universe, Tides of Time, Burn to Cinder, Unleashed. They are classics, and I've told the guys also I love that album. I think it would be great if we can somehow go a little bit back to the roots, and that inspired us for Omega. And after Omega, we did the Alchemy project, where we had a new recording process where guitars, bass, and drums were in the same room recording at the same time. So not drums, guitars, and bass all separate, but the guys play together, which makes it so much more organic and tight and way more a song. Everybody's played into each other, so to speak. And the guys love that with the Alchemy project. So that's the thing we now implemented for Epica 9, where the guys did the same recording and they all had so much fun. Plus, you're not lonely, because normally if you record, I will be lonely in the studio. Of course, the band members come and visit, but it will be me and Joost. And this time, the guys, there were all 3 of them in the studio. And they could keep each other company. They could laugh with each other, shout at each other, fight, all of it. And I guess that is has only advantages for how the music in the end turns out, because I think when we had the holographic principle, we reached this point where everything was starting to sound too perfect and too clinical, that in the end, that was a thing we found out was not for us. We wanted to go back a little bit more to that organic sound. And yeah, that's how Omega was released, and the Alchemy project gave us fresh input and inspiration.
Yeah.
And that is now also in Epica 9.